Because I feel like it. I hardly ever mess with these little special effects on here. That looks kind of dope. But then I wonder, like, how would the night vision look with the light out? Well, obviously not. Um, no, that's kind of trippy. Whoa. Yo, what's up? Yeah, so I'm just fucking with these shits, man. What is this one? That still has like some weird slow motion type effect to it. That's crazy. I think I need to wash my gloves, honestly. Got this weird rash on my hands. And I think it's just because why did my app disconnect? I tried streaming yesterday and I moved the stand out the way and unplugged the PlayStation. This is actually giving me a bit of a headache looking at this shit. And we're back to normal. Yep, good morning, bro. You know I'm fucking bored this morning. Fuck around with this shit. And now how do you get this stuff to go away? What the fuck? Yo. What the? Alright, so how you get that shit to stop? shit. Alright, I guess as long as I don't use it, it's not gonna happen, but I don't know how to, like, turn that shit off. Screw it. Yo, today is my homeboy's pop's birthday. His pops passed away, so I'm doing this painting for him of his dad. And today is his dad's birthday, so he texted me yesterday. I've been sending him updates on the progress of the work. And so yesterday he texted me, he was like, bro, Friday is my dad's birthday. Do you mind if I like post the picture online? I'm like, I don't really mind, just it's not done. You know, just let people let everybody know that it's not done. I'm still working on it. But yeah, he posted it online a little while ago, and he's getting a lot of good feedback and a lot of good responses, and everybody likes it. So I'm happy. He's happy. He's excited about it. He thinks it looks fantastic. So he's the only person I care about what their opinion is on the painting. Anybody else can kiss mash. You're not paying for it, and it's not yours. So like, I don't care what nobody else says, but he really, I think he's really excited about it. So. That was some good news to wake up to. And I even read in one of the comments, somebody asked for my contact information. You know, this summer fucking heat gets my back acting up so bad. Oh. Boozy, what's up?
Ordinary eggs and the best. Which egg tastes?
Yeah, man, that is interesting about scientists, right? They're just concentrating on the task at hand.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't that was like one of the big concerns about the Manhattan Project, right? This is the task. The task is how do you figure out how to do it. So they figure out how to do it, not the eventual consequence.
So when Robert Oppenheimer, who was the lead of the Manhattan Project, when that first bomb went off, I mean, he has his famous quote. Exactly. I mean, the English common translation was, "Holy shit, what have we done?"
Yeah.
And this science is real, but it's not going to be. It's not one person doing it. I mean, that's the whole. Like, science has been diffused, at least with nuclear power. It was a relatively small number of people, and it was one or two states that could do it. Now with precision gene editing, I mean, you get the Nobel Prize for figuring out how to do. You will get the Nobel Prize for figuring out how to do CRISPR gene edits. But to apply it once the formula already exists, you get like an A- in your high school biology class. So this technology is out there, it's cheap, it's accessible.
Did you go to that 2045 conference in Manhattan a couple of years back?
No.
Do you know about all that 2045? That's part of the thing with these transhumanist folks. They believe that with their own calculations of the exponential increase of technology, that somewhere around 2045,
the singularity.
Yeah. At the very least, we're going to reach this point where you're going to be able to either download consciousness or have some sort of an artificially intelligent sentient being that's hanging out with you.
Yeah, so I'm involved. I'm on faculty for one of the programs of Singularity University called Exponential Medicine. And so we're thinking a lot about that. I actually had an editorial in the New York Times a few weeks ago imagining a visit to a fertility clinic in the year 2045. And again, because we are on this exponential change, it's really hard for people to internalize, to kind of feel how fast these changes are coming. I do think, though, Ray Kurzweil, who's a really incredible genius, he thinks that we are soon going to get to a point where our artificial intelligence is self-learning. Because when you think about it, AI, if it gets to the point where it can read something, read and comprehend, like in seconds, it will read every book ever written in human history. And then it's just, when you have all these doublings and all this more knowledge, you can imagine how that would happen pretty quickly. The counter argument against it, and I think that it will, but I don't think that that our human brains are, on one hand, they're incredibly complex, and they're also kind of irrational. I mean, we have all these different layers. We have our lizard brain, and every decision that we make, there's the rational decision. But then there's all the other stuff that our brains, that doesn't even rise to the level of our awareness, that our brains are processing. And right now, we don't really have one really effective artificial intelligence algorithm, which is for pattern recognition. But if you think of pattern recognition as the core skill of what our brains do, our brains probably have 1,000, 2,000 different skills. But the core thing is whether we reach this singularity moment or not. These technologies are going to become incredibly more powerful. They're going to become increasingly integrated into our lives and into our beings and part of our evolutionary process. There's no longer, we just have our biological evolution and our technological evolution, and those are separate things. They're connected.
It's going to be that weird question of whether or not, if an artificial intelligence is going to be able to absorb all of the writing that human beings have ever done and really understand us.
Yeah.
Will they really still be able to understand us just because they get all the writing?
So right now, you would say no.
I'd say no, yeah.
But 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now?
They could come up with a reasonable facsimile. I mean, they could figure out a way to get it close enough.
Yeah.
Where it's like her, like that.
Yeah. That's an essential point, because I think when people imagine this AI future, they're imagining like some intimate relationship with some artificial intelligence that feels just like a human. I don't think that's going to happen, because it's.
You don't?
Well, no, but just because AI, it will be its own form of intelligence, and it may not be. Frankly, we wouldn't want AIs with these brains like we have, that have all these different impulses, that are kind of imagining all this crazy stuff. We may want them to be more rational than we are. So, like, chimpanzees are our close relatives. They don't think just like us. We're not expecting them to think like us. They're their own thing, and I think AIs will be their own things. Will we be interacting with them? Will we be having sex with them? Yes. But it's not going to be that they're just like us. They're going to be these things that live within us, live with us, and together we're going to evolve.
Well, they're certainly already better at doing certain things like playing chess.
Yeah.
I mean, it took a long time for an artificial intelligence to be able to compete against a real chess master, but now they swamp them.
Yeah.
So they learn quickly, incredibly quickly. They teach themselves.
Yeah, so first we had chess, and chess, people said, that's what it means to be a human. The computers will never beat humans at chess. Now it's like everyone says, no human could ever compete. And then they said, there's this Chinese game of Go, which kind of, when people here look at it, it looks kind of like checkers, but it's actually way more sophisticated, way more complicated than chess.
I heard that there are more moves in Go, more potential moves than there are stars in the universe.
Yes. So then they had AlphaGo, that this company DeepMind, which was later acquired by Google, they built this algorithm that in 2016 defeated the world champions of Go. People thought we were decades away. And then DeepMind created this new program called AlphaZero. And AlphaZero, with AlphaGo, they gave it access to all of the digitized games of Go. So it very quickly was able to learn from how everybody else had played Go. AlphaZero, they just said,
we're gonna live with them, we're gonna work with them, we're gonna have sex with them. It's like, that's what I was thinking too, like, huh? They're gonna be a part of us, we're gonna be a part of it. But we're not gonna think like them. They're not gonna like chimpanzees are our closest relatives, and they don't think like us, and that's cool. Like we don't want to have the AI think exactly. Some people say some weird shit about this AI revolution, but that's the thing. It's not going to think like a human. I watched this. I just watched this movie on Netflix called I Am Mother. And it's weird because the storyline is kind of ambiguous and you don't really get a lot of loose ends tied up, and they leave it really open-ended for you to kind of imagine your own scenarios. But basically it's this world where everyone, well, the human population has died off or has killed themselves or whatever. There's no people left, and except a little small few handful of motherfuckers. And so it starts out in this fucking scientific bunker somewhere with this robot, just android AI is walking around and making babies and shit. And so it starts out, she picks an embryo from this cold freeze storage unit and puts it in an artificial womb and grows it to, infancy, and then takes it out the artificial womb and then raises this baby up as this a little girl. And she raises the robot, raises the baby and teaches it stuff like makes the girl go to school and learn shit. And my sinuses are fucking me real bad. But it's weird because another character comes into play, and then a robot is trying to tell the human child that, oh, we're doing this for your benefit, to make the perfect humans, to repopulate the earth. And it's some really, really weird ass shit. But people, like I say, people have a lot of different ideas about where this fucking AI robotics revolution is gonna go. That shit is exciting and scary at the same time.
Here are the basic rules of Go, and they let AlphaGo just play against itself with no other experience other than here are the rules and play against. And in 4 days, AlphaZero destroyed AlphaGo, and then AlphaZero destroyed the world champions of chess and destroyed every other computer program that had ever played chess. And this, again, those computer programs had internalized all of the chess games of grandmasters. AlphaZero had not internalized any. It just played against itself for a few days. And then shogi, which is a Japanese traditional game, kind of like chess, it destroyed the grandmasters of that. So that's what I'm saying, is the world is changing. It's changing so much faster than we anticipate, and we have to be as ready for that as we can.
I think we need to come to grips with the fact that we're way stupider than we think we are. We think we're really intelligent, and we are, in comparison to everything else on this planet.
Yeah.
But in comparison to what is possible, we are really fucking dumb. In comparison to what this computer can do and what
but we're smart enough to make something smarter than we are. That's a fucking paradigm.
This is good, but I got some hiccups here.
Like you say, humans are dumb as fuck, but somehow the smartest of the humans have figured out how to make something smarter than themselves. And that's a dumb thing to do, kind of, sort of, maybe, depending on how you look at it. But like I say, shit is changing. It's changing fast. And like you say, they have this one fucking AI program that can learn and play any fucking game, any massively complicated strategical game, and beat everybody in that shit. Outwit all the humans and all the other computer algorithms that came before it. And then, like you said, man, in 20, 30, 40, 50 years, what's the next step?
No, it's true, but and yet the technology is us.
Right.
Like this,
Sort
it's
of.
not like this technology is some alien force. It's like this. It's like we create art. We create. You mentioned cities, or like we create these cities, which are these incredible places where dreams can happen. Cities like here in Los Angeles or New York, where I'm from. So this technology is us, and the challenge is how can we make sure that this technology serves our needs rather than undermines our needs.
Yeah, and whether or not our needs supersede the needs of the human race or supersedes the needs of the planet.
Yeah.
We're almost too much chimp, right? To contemplate these critical decisions in terms of like how it's going to unfold from here on out.
Yeah.
And we really might, not we, but the people that are actually at the tip of the spear of this stuff, they really might be affecting the way the planet is shaped 100 years from now.
And we're doing that now. I mean, there was an article came out the other day. There's 1 million species that are on the verge of extinction. We are driving all these other species to extinction. We're warming the planet. So humans are the determining factor in many ways for how this planet plays out. And that's why, in my mind, everything comes back to values. You're right. We have this lizard nature, this monkey nature. It's who we are, and you wouldn't want to take that away because that's the core of what we are. And yet we're also a species that has created philosophy. We've created beautiful religions and traditions and art. And the question is, which version of us is going to lead us into the future? If it's this tribal primate with these urges, like that's really frightening. If we can say we've done better and worse in history, we had this terrible Second World War, and yet at the end of the Second World War, with American leadership, the world came together. We established a United Nations. We established these concepts of human rights, like you can't just kill everybody in your own country and say, hey, it's just my business. So we have this capability, but it's always a struggle. I mean, these forces are always at war with each other in many ways.
It's just too much to think about.
Yeah, but we have to.
I know, we do have to. One of the things that's always been amusing to me is that we seem to have this insatiable desire to improve things.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered why. Like, but is that maybe because this is what human beings are here for?
Yeah, it's what we do.
Yeah.
It's who we are.
Right.
Yeah.
But is this a product of just us being intelligent, trying to survive against nature and predators and weather and all the different issues that we evolved growing up and dealing with, and then now we just want things to be better. We just want things to be more convenient, faster, but more data. When you think that these jobs are going to be automated and then universal basic income is going to supplement it's going to give them some money, $1,000 a month. But where do they go from there? I mean, how do people exist on $12,000 a year? Like, what do they do? Like,
I believe AI will see how improving us improves also AI. Well, not necessarily. If I see how, I believe AI will see how improving us improves also. But that's the all right. So you're already making a couple little jumps there. If AI can see how, which means it's self-reflecting, which means it would have some sort of consciousness, like a self-determining consciousness, if to actually think like in a perspective of human emotions and human suffering and what's best for humans, and that if it helps humans, then humans will help it. I don't think I can agree with you on that, just for the simple fact, like, they made the example of AlphaGo. Once again, like, AlphaGo learned all this stuff and can beat everybody. Then they made AlphaZero, and AlphaZero beat AlphaGo by learning from AlphaGo, just by playing it and learning from it. So essentially, they can learn from themselves and make themselves better without any human intervention, especially when it becomes a general intelligence where it's not necessarily conscious, but it does have the capability of learning. And once it can learn on its own and understand as much as humans and even more than humans know, then reprogramming itself, making a better next generation of itself would be way simpler than trying to improve the entire disposition of the human species in order to make some kind of significant outcome for itself. And once again, like, AI is, if we do make a legit, like, general intelligence, artificial general intelligence that can learn, like, that shit just seems like creepy as hell anyway. But a lot of people speculate that it's already here and we just have it under wraps. A lot of people think that the world the world as a whole is contributing to this artificial general intelligence.